founder of Traffic, Sales, and Profit. We help entrepreneurs do three things: drive more traffic, convert more sales, and grow the amount of profit in your business. I'm also, along with my wife, Ronnie, the co-founder of BlackandMarriedWithKids.com. We have something special going on today, and we'll be doing this for the next few weeks, as there's so many different things going on between the coronavirus, between the economy, between the shift in family situations and dynamics. What we're doing is we're bringing you a special set of resources to help equip you and your family and your business and our community to help us get through all of this. And what that looks like is we've developed a 7-point TSP stimulus plan. And I'll share what that is just in a second. But part of that plan is we're going to be doing not just business trainings like we always do in the Traffic, Sales, and Profit community, but also kind of family and life trainings that will help you better equip and deal with the changes that may be going on now in your family, because the kids are home all day, because you might need to hold on to your money a little bit tighter. You might need to make that money stretch. You might need to make food stretch. And that's really the core purpose. Is we just want to help you, want to help our community. And this is another way we can do it. Again, if you are watching this live, right, I'm going to need you to be engaged. I'm going to need you to type into the comments and engage with us during this conversation. If you are watching this later on, right, on replay, I want you to do me a favor and type the word replay down below in the actual box so that we can make sure you are accounted for and you are there as well. Real quick, before we bring on our very special guest, and this is going to be a great interview, right? So I want you to make sure you're paying attention, because today we're talking about what you must know about your teens now that they're home. And I'm going to repeat that, what you must know. This is not something that you can know, something that you should know, something that you must know now that your teams are actually home right? We don't know. It could be indefinitely. It could be, another week or two. It could be a few months. It could be this is the beginning of their actual summer home with you, and they won't be getting back into school until next school year, right? So we're going to help you shift through some of that. But before we do, I want to share real quick what the actual TSP stimulus plan is that we talked about. We have something that we're doing special inside of our Facebook group called Traffic, Sales, and Profit with Lamar Tyler. And what that is 7 points we created to help equip you and your family and your businesses. Number one, we're doing daily COVID-19 updates with Dr. Joffrey Mount Varner. He is a ER physician. He is on the front lines, and he's actually been sharing with us in our communities every day exactly what we need to know about this virus, and giving us the chance to ask all of our questions. Because I know a lot of you have questions that the media is not answering, that, you can't necessarily call or get through to some of the healthcare providers because they're so inundated with calls and communication right now. So you can bring those calls to the actual TSP group and get those answered every day at 11 a.m. Eastern time. We're providing free business resources, videos, different guides, right, checklists to make sure that you have what you need to become more efficient and to get to success faster in your actual business. We're doing weekly business trainings, which we already were doing trainings and lunch and learns every week in the TSP group. But now we're also doing business trainings on top of those to just help you get to success faster. Some of you may have had a side hustle that may be turning into your main hustle because of situations with employment. We want to help you there. Some of you have businesses that are slow and steady and been growing. We want to help them grow faster. And that's what those business trainings will do. And then we'll have weekly life trainings like this first one that we're doing today to help you, like I said, just better equip you now that some things are shifting around our actual lifestyles. In addition, the last three things I'm excited about, on Saturday, March 28th, we're doing our TSP Quick Cash Summit. I'm bringing 7 experts in to talk about how you can create quick cash, right? What kind of cash? Quick cash in your actual business. And then we're doing grocery store gift card giveaways starting the week of April the 1st, leading up into our conference, Traffic, Sales, and Profit live towards the end of June. And then also starting the week of April 1st, we're doing $1,000 small business grants to businesses that are in our Traffic, Sales, and Profit Facebook group community. So there's a lot going on. I'm excited that we're kicking all of this off. And like I said, we're all here to actually share this and be a resource with you. So guys, if you can hear me and see me okay, do me a favor and drop a comment down into the chat. While you are doing that, I want to introduce and bring on our guest for today, a very good friend of mine, so I'm very excited about this. Today's guest, Jackie Brewton, is a highly sought after youth speaker and teen relationship expert, delivering keynotes for large assemblies of thousands, including the Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation Girls Who Rule the World Mentoring Weekend. She can also be found on the front line in classrooms of 30 each school year, teaching students about healthy relationships. Jackie has spoken to more than 100,000 teens across the country and abroad. Did y'all get that? 100,000. And has amassed more than 17,000 plus letters from students, y'all. I want you to just feel that through me. 17,000 letters from students. These letters, along with her Real Talk classroom discussions, have given her a window into the hearts and minds of teen girls and guys few adults ever get to experience. Jackie's book, 7 Secrets Guys Will Never Tell You, A Teen Girl's Guide on Love, Sex, and Relationships, is just one of many resources, including DVDs and e-courses, and we have them all. I'm telling you, they're excellent resources. We'll talk about how you can get your hands on them. And she has created those DVDs and e-courses to equip parents to address the topics of love, sex, and relationships with their teens. Guys, please welcome me in bringing on Miss Jackie Brewton. Hey, Jackie, how are you?
Hey, Lamar. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And I'm so glad that, I saw a conversation, we reached out and we talked, and then I saw an email that you sent out about this conversation we're having because, and we'll get straight into it in a second, but there really are some things that parents must know. And this is a shifting dynamic because a lot of parents are not used to having the kids home during this time of year and really trying to figure out okay, what do I do with them when I'm home with them? What do I do with them if they're home and I'm essential, so I still have to go into work? So this is a little bit different for a lot of parents, right?
Right. It's a new world, but I think it comes with a lot of opportunities, negative and positive, and hopefully we'll talk about both of those today.
We totally will. So before we get started, why don't you tell the people just a little bit more about you and your background, and how you got into all of this working with these teens and these 17,000 plus letters and these 100,000 teens that you've spoken to over the years.
So this is actually my second career. My first career was in corporate America, and I like to say that I decided in 2001 that it wasn't enough for me to be successful, but I wanted to be significant. And so I left Procter & Gamble. I was an HR manager at Procter & Gamble. I left and actually left to start an after-school program, which morphed into going around to schools and churches and community organizations talking to teenagers about a lot of things. The most common thing that I go and talk about is, love, sex, relationships in the classroom. But it's so much bigger than that for me. And I tell the teens when I go into the class, if the only thing that they hear during the time that they hear me is that they shouldn't have sex, then I didn't do my job, because it's so much bigger than sex. This is about helping them live up to their full potential. And it's just been the most rewarding 18 years. I've been doing it for 18 years now. It's been the most rewarding 18 years, I think, that I've had. But it's also been disheartening as well, because I hear so many stories about bad choices that teenagers made prior to hearing me speak.
That's so good. Now, let me ask you, because we said today we're going to talk about, some things that parents must know about their teens. And when we talked, you said, there are some things you discovered from talking to teens about what happens when they're home alone. Can we kind of dive right into that a little bit?
Yeah, I was, the first thing I started seeing people put on Facebook, in December, there are going to be a lot of baby boomer babies coming because people being quarantined at home. And my first thought, based on what I do, is I hope there are not a lot of teen babies that are born in December, because teens are home more, and some of them, because their parents are still working, they're home alone more, because I hear so much about them having sex at their house when parents aren't at home, when they aren't quarantined, when they still go to school. So this is after school, so now they might have even more time on their hands.
Wow. So I know a lot of parents watching right now are shocked at that statement alone, right? And that's probably not new to you. A lot of the things you say probably shock parents. So if I'm a parent and I'm hearing that, and you're telling me that, wow, kids are saying that they're bored and they're home alone, and I'm out, working every day, right? And maybe, like I said, I'm essential, so I don't have a choice and the schools are closed. I mean, what's some of the advice that you give to parents in situations like this?
I think the first thing is, and it sounds really simple, have a conversation about what your expectations are. And one of the reasons I say that is because about a year ago, I got a direct message on Instagram from a young lady who lives, I won't say where she lived, but she found me on YouTube. She saw one of my videos on YouTube, and she said she got pregnant when she was 12 years old. And she was 12, the boy was 14. Perfect setup. He said, "What's your situation like?" She said, "My parents are divorced. My mom doesn't get home until 7:30. I want to spend more time with you, so why don't I get my brother to drop me off at your house after school?" They end up having sex. She gets pregnant. And so I say, did you ever have a conversation with your mom? And she said, no, the only thing my mom ever said when I started my menstrual cycle at 11 was, when you get older, You don't need to have sex because you could get pregnant to change your life. Her mom didn't even know she had a boyfriend. So, I mean, I can see in her mom's mind, you're 12 years old. I don't need to have the sex talk. I don't need to talk to you about the choices you make about that because you're only 12. Not realizing that her not having that conversation because the young lady said she thought she was too young to get pregnant. She said all the teenagers that I knew that had babies were at least 14. So in her 12-year-old mind, you have to be at least 14 to get pregnant. And that is all because the mom never had a conversation with her at all because she thought it was too early. And that's a big mistake that parents make is waiting until they're teenagers to have a conversation, not realizing. I mean, I've had two girls tell me they got pregnant somewhere between the fifth and sixth grade year, like 11 years old.
So Jackie, so what point should they start having that conversation in? Because I know a lot of parents, right? We're like this is what I think, right? I think we don't want to take the innocence away from that child, right? And it's like it's now too early, and then by the time you figure out that you should be having a conversation, you figure out because something comes into the house, or they come home with a conversation from school, or you see something from one of the kids at school and thinking, all right, they're having this conversation already without me. So what's a good time to have that talk?
Yeah, unfortunately, in the society that we live in, their innocence has already been taken. I mean, that's just the day and time that we're in. The age that we thought should be okay now is not okay. I mean, it's almost too late because of what they're hearing at school. I mean, the things that I hear from elementary school kids about what they heard from their friends. You look at social media, you look at pornography, you look at all of this stuff that's out there in the culture. If we're thinking that we wait until they're a teenager, like that's kind of late. But the other thing that I think parents don't do is they don't understand you can have an age conversation without taking their innocence because it shouldn't start out with just sex. Like, because I think sex is often a symptom of a much bigger issue. So the conversation needs to be about how do you love yourself? What does real love look like? How do you respect yourself? What's appropriate and inappropriate touch? Those kind of conversations. What's an unhealthy relationship? And unfortunately, we can use the media to have some of those conversations based on the negative stuff that's in the media. So if kids are going to be exposed to the media, watch this media with them so that you can talk about what they're consuming. Because they're consuming all of this negative media all day long. And unfortunately, it's making them believe that those decisions are just normal parts of a relationship.
That's good. So I know, and we had talked about this before, and I know it always kind of comes up, and I like to bring it up because I think it's something a lot of parents face. You know, what about for a lot of parents that may feel like I don't know how to have this talk with my child because I had a baby when I was young, or I had a baby when I was in high school, or I was having sex when I was in high school, so I feel like a hypocrite to go and tell my kid that they shouldn't do it because I remember when, right? And it's like they're caught in this. Like they want to do better, they want to have the talk, but then they're thinking like, well, I was doing this when I was young, so maybe I'm overreacting. Is that something that you ever see from parents?
Oh, I hear that all the time, especially from moms who were teen moms. And the same thing you just said is what they say to me. How can I tell my daughter not to have sex with a teenager? Because she knows that I had sex when I was a teenager because I had her when I was a teenager, and I feel like a hypocrite. And my response is always the same. When you tell your child, don't do as I do, that's a hypocrite. When you tell your child, don't do as I did, that's a teacher. And unfortunately, that's one of the few choices that parents feel that they don't have a right to talk to their kids about because, and I don't know why, that's one of the few ones that they have, because if they did drugs, they're not saying, I don't want you to do drugs if you know I did drugs. It's just, it's crazy. And it's funny because a parent reached out to me on my blog post. She read one of my blog posts and she said that she had sex at 15. She lost her virginity at 15. She got pregnant 3 months later. She ended up having an abortion. Boyfriend broke up with her. I mean, she lists all of her poor choices that she made when she was a teenager. And she said, my daughter is now 15, and I want to have the conversation with her about why I don't want her to have sex. But my fear is if I tell her about my poor choices, number one, will she lose respect for me and will she judge me? And will she feel like that is, reason for her to do it because you did? And it's so interesting because, and here's why I love talking to kids in the classroom, because I get to get their perspective. because I responded to this mom like right after I got her email. And my advice to her was, I think it's okay to tell your daughter about that you made some poor choices, but maybe not go into the details about getting pregnant and abortion and all this kind of stuff. I'm not saying you never tell her that, but I think at 15, maybe you need to wait till older. So then I went to the classroom and I asked the students, do you think she should tell? 99% of the students said, of course she should tell. And so I said, okay, so if your mom told you that, would you judge her? Would you lose respect for her? And I mean, there were a couple who said, oh, it is going to make me feel some kind of way. But the vast majority of them, 90+%, said, no, I wouldn't judge her. That would make her more relatable. And I think parents feel that way. They're like, now I feel like, well, maybe I can relate to her more because she has gone through what I've gone through. Because, a lot of teenagers feel like, oh, back in the day, it wasn't like that. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. It's different today. But then when you can say, no, I do know what I'm talking about because I did what I'm telling you not to do, and this is what happened to me, they say that makes the parent more relatable.
That is excellent. And I think a lot of people watching, right? If you guys are watching, make sure you drop a comment and let us know about, what you think about that. Is that was impactful? Is that something you think you can actually try as well? And I think that is very good information and insight for them to take forward. Because like I said, I mean, it's something I hear and I see kind of all the time. So I love the fact that you gave them something practical that they can actually use and take with them. And to know that, I think it's good to know too that other parents feel the same way. It's like not just, thinking about the kid, but as parents, I think sometimes parents are isolated thinking that I'm the only one going through this thing with my child, right? I'm the only one facing this set of issues with my child. And a lot of the issues and things we face as parents are taboo. But then when you hear other parents and people talking about it, you're like, well, dang, you know what I mean? It ain't just me. You know what I mean? So I love that.
Right. And I think parents need to know they're not alone. And what it helps, and the same thing that works for teens works for parents because I actually share letters, and you've seen some of my letters that I post even on Facebook. But when I'm talking to kids, I share letters on the screen of kids who have written me. And one of the most common things that I read in other kids' letters is, thank you for sharing your letters with others because it made it real. And it made me realize I wasn't alone. I thought I was the only one that had daddy issues. I thought I was the only one that this had happened to. But now I feel more confident. I feel better about myself. So the same thing that works for kids, I think works for parents as well, that you're not alone.
Very good. I love it. I love it. So Jackie, let me ask you this. Since a lot of kids are home and a lot of parents are, working from home, it may not be essential and may not be having to go in, or maybe their state or city is shut down. I feel like it's an opportunity, right, for us as parents to be able to maybe, bond more, spend more time, because we do have some opportunities that we normally don't have, right? And even like I know we have from 6th grade up to 12th grade at home with us right now. So our 12th grade is normally working all the time, is not working all the time. So she's home, which is different. So we got more time to spend with her before she kind of goes away to college and such. Our younger daughters, right, are just around a lot more and a lot more present. Like, is it a way that, or is it something that parents should be doing to kind of just be more present and take advantage of the actual time they have right now?
I started this thing in the classroom, and I started with 8th grade girls, and then I started asking high school students too. But because when I go into middle schools, I only talk to girls, and my coworker talks to guys. But then high school classes co-ed. So I started asking 8th grade girls initially, and then high school students, how will you parent differently when you have kids? And I kind of do it on two. What will you do different? What is it your parents do that you hate? And what is it that you love that they do that you're going to continue to do? And one of the most common things that I hear is kids say, I am going to spend more time with my kids. And it always breaks my heart. I'm not going to put work first. I'm not going to let my cell phone be on my cell phone like my mom is. Girls will say, I go up to my mom and try to talk to you about my day, and she's on Instagram scrolling. And so I'm telling the girls, this is your opportunity, because I'm doing Instagram lives with teenagers this week as well. And I'm like, here's your opportunity. You have been telling me that you want to spend more time with your parents. Like, we've been given a gift during this time. I mean, nobody wanted the pandemic to bring this gift to us, but we've been given a gift of time. And so I think one of the things that parents can do is spend more time with your kids, but also let your kids decide what you do. And I think sometimes parents, even when they say they want to spend time with their kids, they want to decide what the activity is, instead of letting the kids decide what the activity is. And I think they'll be engaged more if it's something they get to decide. Or you switch off and you say, okay, you get to decide what we're going to do one night. The next night, as a parent, I'll get to decide what we're going to do. But here's another thing, and we might get to this later, but I created a template called the letter that every mom should write her teen daughter. And even though it says every mom should write her teen daughter, like a dad can use it to write his daughter a letter, a mom can use it to write her son a letter, and a dad can use it to write her son. Because one of the things that I think, one of the reasons why a lot of teens, especially girls, end up having sex is they want to feel loved. And they don't necessarily feel loved by their parent. And it's not that the parent like doesn't love them. It's just that, I mean, you know about the 5 love languages, right? They might not be in the right level. And so for a child, whether it's a boy or a girl, to have this thing, this tangible letter that they can read over and over and over again about this is how I feel about you, this is what I want for you, these are my wishes, this is, you know, all of this. So they can actually get that on my website, and we can drop the link in the comment section to tell them where they can get. It's just a free template that has all you have to do is basically fill in the blank. I mean, of course, you write it by hand. You don't print it out and give it to you, fill it out, but you write it by hand. But this opportunity to spend more time with them, kids are craving for their parents to spend more time with them because time is their most valuable resource. You know, like if they're willing to give up time for me, they must enjoy being around me and want to be around me. Because when you don't have time for them, what they interpret this as, they don't want to spend time with me because they don't like me.
Wow.
So yeah, this is a great opportunity to spend more time with them.
Wow, that was extremely impactful. So, just kind of talk about some of the things we covered. And Jackie, I want to make sure that you let them know how they can get in contact with you and talk to you. You know, Jackie, you talked about being careful right now, right? Because, like you said, so many teens have told you that the prime time they're having sex is when they are home and bored. So you may have kids that are home right now, you know, and the bored thing could be a big piece, Jackie, because what I didn't mention before, like I'm looking at my own kids, like the amount of homework that they're getting online, like my kids are blowing through that stuff in like an hour and a half. Like it ain't like a full school's day's worth of work that they're doing. They're blowing through it quick. So if we weren't here, like they literally would just be sitting around for most of the day on tablets, on phones and things like that. So I think that was vital. And then some of the other insights you gave as well. If people want to get more information and get in contact with you, they want to find your DVDs and books, which I all highly recommend myself. Ronnie and myself, we own all of them. How can they get in touch with you, Jackie?
My website is JackieBrewton.com. On there, I have an e-course for parents, how to have a tough conversation with your teen daughter. I have a DVD for boys, the sex talk that every teen guy needs to hear. One for girl, the sex talk every girl needs to hear. And then after I did those first 2 DVDs, the parents came back and said, "What about us? Like we don't know how to have the conversation." So I did a third DVD, the sex talk every parent needs to have. And I also have an e-course for teen girls called Dating Boundaries 101. Because let me tell you, one of the reasons why teenagers end up having sex is that they don't set appropriate boundaries. And so they end up saying, I didn't go to plan to have sex, it just happened. And they don't realize that they had set the boundaries back, you know, farther before it got to that point where their hormones are out of control. So that one, I think I would highly recommend parents to get to. And then, of course, like my book, 7 Secrets Guys Will Never Tell You, a Teen Guide on Love, Sex, and Relationships. They can get all that on my website. But the free resources, I have tons of videos on YouTube. Just checked the other day, my videos have been viewed over 390,000 times. I have a section for parents and a section for teens, a section for college students. Instagram, make sure your teens or follow me on Instagram. I have a lot of videos on Instagram as well. I also have a free ebook on my website, 7 things every parent needs to know before having the talk. So anything you need is there.
All right. I love it, guys. Make sure you get a hold of those resources. Make sure you follow Jackie on Instagram, on YouTube, right? Over 300,000 times her videos have been viewed. And then I'm telling you, make sure you get a hold of the actual resources, the physical resources, the DVDs, the books, the ebooks. We'll make sure we get you a link to the template as well. Jackie, any last words that you want to share with parents that may be watching, or even some parents that may be watching this alongside their teens?
So here's one thing we did talk about that has shocked me this past year. Every year I say, I can never be shocked by anything. And then a student will say something that shocks me. And so actually it started last year 16-year-old boy told me that a girl that he was not dating sent an Uber to his house to pick him up to have sex, and then she would him back home. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, I know how this works. I ain't gonna rush it. I'm trying to figure out, like, how does this girl, that 16-year-old have the opportunity to go to somebody's house and come back, and a parent not know it? Because I heard a 12-year-old. This was a friend of mine shared this sleepover. Daughter was turning 13. Had a bunch of other girls over there who were 12. She was the only one 13. At 2 o'clock in the morning, one of the 12-year-olds called the Uber to pick her up, took her to a 14-year-old boy's house, and Ubered back to 4 a.m. in the morning. Like,
Wow.
like the alarms just go off in your head about all the things that could happen with a 12-year-old going out at 2 o'clock in the morning with an Uber to meet a guy and crazy. So I asked the young lady, I said, I don't understand how this happens. I said, because when I use Uber or Lyft or any of the ride share, I said, I have to have a credit card. And I also get a receipt to my email. I said, so how are y'all able to do this without your parents knowing? Because another eighth grader, when she said, one thing I'm going to do with my next daughter is I'm not going to, if she needs money, I'm going to give her cash. I'm not going to give her the credit. And I said, why would you say that? And she said, because my parents have given me their credit card, and I have called Uber to take me places that I should have never been. And she said, I stopped doing it. I don't do it anymore. But she's in the eighth grade saying this is what she used to do. And so the girl tells me the way they do it is they have their own debit account. There's a credit, I mean, they have their own account, a debit card. You know, the debit card has a credit card. They attach that debit number to their own email address. And so the parent never knows that they called an Uber with their phone. Like, it just baffles me that a parent would give their child that much freedom and not have any checks and balances to even know. You're basically saying, I'm giving you the ability to go wherever you want to go, wherever you want to go, without me knowing anything about it. So I would also care about giving kids that kind of access. So that's one that has shocked me, and I think most adults and parents I've told about that have been shocked as well. And I'm like, you would be amazed with these kids. I mean, even with filters to kind of protect them against pornography. I had a guy tell me he was going to get some pornography in the second grade. He started in second grade in the ninth grade. He was watching it second year. And he said, my parents have the same password for everything that they use. So even though they put books on the computer, what he does is he goes and takes the filter off, uses pornography, and then puts the filter back.
Wow. Wow. It's just really, it's almost like you have to stay, you have to communicate. You got to stay one step ahead. It's like all these different things that you have to do. But that's, again, that's why I wanted to bring you, because I don't think a lot of parents are even thinking that their sweet babies are even thinking on this level, right? And sometimes it may not even be them thinking on a level. It may be the person that sits at the desk next to them, or the person that they ride the bus with that can tell them, like, hey, you know what? We can go somewhere. And they say, well, my mom and dad can't take me. And they say, well, you know what? I can get us an Uber in the seventh grade, in the eighth grade, right? So it's just almost mind-boggling about what's there. And I'll say this before we wrap, Jackie. You were talking about kids having too much freedom. And again, right, I think a lot of parents, they want to provide their kids with things they didn't have growing up, or things they didn't have access to. But I guess it's still like a line in there somewhere they need to draw.
Yeah, I heard a preacher say one day, he said, those of us who grew up in our generation, we decided that we wanted to give the kids things what we didn't have, but what we didn't give them were the things that we did have, which is the work ethic. And, and sometimes when you give them so much, like, you're almost crippling them from being able to be an adult. And even the teenagers tell me when they have kids, I'm not going to rescue my kids so much. Like, because how are we ever going to learn if our parents continue to rescue us from every situation that we get ourselves in? I'm telling you, I hear things from kids that I'm amazed how mature they can be in their thinking process about, I've lived this, so I'm not going to be that person because I know what I did. And this is the thing that I laugh and I tell them. I say, I guarantee your parents said the same thing when they were teenagers. I said, it sounds good to say what you're not, I'm not going to be like my parents, your parents. And I said, so you got to give them a little bit of grace, because I said, by the time you become a parent, your answer may be a lot different than you think it is now, too. JackieBrewton.com is the website. My Instagram for your teens is Jackie B Speaks. YouTube channel is Jackie Brewton. And I think that's it.
All right, perfect. So again, thank you so much, Jackie. We appreciate you for coming and sharing, right, as part of our TSP 7-point stimulus plan. These kind of like family trainings. That's the first time we've done with Traffic Sales and Profit, but then we're also going to be broadcasting and streaming this with our BlackandMarriedWithKids.com audience as well. We appreciate you. And to let everybody know, we currently, as of right now, are still on for our June event, TSP Live here in Atlanta. We have a community of African-American entrepreneurs that are working to close the wealth gap in our actual community. We are working to kind of build and uplift new business owners, right? If you're at 5 figures, want to get you from 5 to 6. If you're at 6, want to go from 6 to 7, and want to get those 7-figure businesses to 8. We have an amazing community of people that can wrap their arms, their knowledge, their understanding, their support all around you to help you get to where you want to be. And for some reason, because of everything going on, if the date does change, we'll definitely let everyone that already has tickets know. The event is already 83% sold out, 700 seats in the room, and we only have less than 100 currently available. If you don't know, I'll show you a 50-second clip about it real quick, and then we'll wrap up today's training. Check the screen out, guys. Here we go.
Hey, I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone. Gotta get it on the daily. All I want is dubs. You know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper. All I know is run money marathons. I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone. Gotta get it on the daily. All I want is dubs. You know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper. All I know is run money marathons. You can catch me with a dime piece. Me and the money inside me. Diamonds in my timepiece. Diamonds in my timepiece. Yeah. Gotta get it on the daily. All I want is dubs. You know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper. All I know is run money marathon.
Opportunity for you to come, like I said, grow your business, grow yourself, right, and grow your actual community. Again, make sure you stay tuned. Make sure if you found this on Black and Married with Kids, make sure you're still checking that out and all the resources we have there. For everyone else, I want to tell you, if you are not a member of Traffic Sales and Profit, the actual Facebook group, make sure you're joining the Facebook group, Traffic Sales and Profit. We got everything for you. We'll be doing a bunch of these every week, and we cannot wait to help you get through this tough time for yourselves, for our community, and for this nation. Thank you, y'all, and have a great day.